kind of the NAF historian, Bill Taylor, not too long ago, and we were trying to figure out how many years has NAF convened, conference, brought people together, and our best guess is it's been about 23 years. So this is our 23rd time of bringing folks together, and I do think Miami and probably Seattle have met every single time. I have to say, though, I miss not seeing you in person. Those high fives in the hallways, being able to talk to you, visit with you, and consider all the great work that you're doing gives me great hope for our future. And I believe we'll be back in Orlando, not this year, but hopefully in the days ahead. So good morning, NAF Nation. I want to just say what an amazing moment this is, and big shout out to our NAF team for putting this together in this moment of not being able to get together in Orlando, putting this quickly online, getting the information out, and sharing best practices is what we've always cared the most about. And I can't thank our NAF team enough for all they have done to make this happen. So we're in a crazy pivotal moment in our lives, right? We've got a pandemic, we've got social justice issues, we've got very painful divides between families, neighbors, communities. But I have to say that as I was reflecting on, the 23 years of conference going for NAF Next in our past, I will bet you that in every one of those years, there was a session or a keynote or a conversation going on about the power of technology and how important it is that we make sure that we're able to interact and connect using technology. And we need to make sure that all of our kids have access and the ability to do that. And we also spent a huge amount of time focused on equity and the importance of social justice. And all of those things have come to a strategic head in this country. And I think what I'm so impressed by is that in this time of huge disruption and pain and disconnection, you have come together and connected. You just continue to rise up, take the challenge on, and make it real because you care and because you know that at the end of the day, to make the world that we want to see a better place, we have to address all of these issues. So when everything started shutting down, I think it was March 16th, we shut our office, we stopped all travel, and we instantly felt disconnected from our network and from all of you. And so what I did is I picked up the phone and started calling people and having conversations to find out, what was going on, how could we help, what did you need? And I will say, without exception, actually, there was this common thread through all of those conversations. And most of it was tied to this sense of will and commitment to get through this, and a sense of optimism that actually fed me and made me more optimistic than I probably would have been. But there were some issues around technology that were consistent everywhere, but the way you responded to it across this network of NAF is what is so inspiring to me. So, for example, connectivity became a number one issue. Very worried about students being able to connect, whether they had devices, and then, of course, bandwidth. And in those conversations, what was fascinating to me and so powerful is that you came up with these incredible solutions. I mean, we've got places in rural Florida, right, or California, where connectivity was not the issue because they didn't have the bandwidth, or they couldn't get connectivity because of where they were located. So you got creative. You put hotspots on school buses and you parked them around the county so kids could have access to it. You came up with creative solutions to solve the problem. And we had to do the same thing. So we said, okay, let's put everything we've got online. Let's get it out. Let's make sure people have access to it. Let's make sure that we're supporting all that you do and do so well. In fact, YouTube's become our new kind of classroom offerings. And we've had over 7,000 connections of downloading information and content and trying to see opportunities through YouTube. So what I say to all of you is please keep talking to us, keep talking to each other, and let's remember that this issue of technology, this issue of social justice, this issue of equity, they remain central to what's so important for us to continue to build a network of possibilities for our young people. At the end of the day, NAF has always been around an expectation or a belief system that economic parity is where we've got to be, and it needs to be void of racial disparity. Partnerships are what make this happen in the NAF space, a partnership between education and employers. And I have to say, our employers have been awesome. I mean, they have pivoted to a virtual space for internships. Look at KPMG, look at Optum, look at Verizon, look at Worldwide Technology or Capital One. They, with grace, instantly, when COVID shut everything down and schools had to close, they didn't walk away from internships. They started leaning in and asking the question, how do we provide this remarkable opportunity that we benefit from as well as the students benefiting from it? How do we do it virtually, and how do we do it? And they've done it so very well. So I can't thank our partners enough. At the end of the day, as our chairman Sandy would say, it's always been about public-private partnerships. And if done well, anything is possible. And I have to say that for those of you who were with us, 3 years ago and heard Robert Smith on stage with Sandy, he said in his experience, right, he got to where he is in part because of an internship experience he had. And he talked about NAF as an elegant solution to a complex problem. But central to that elegant solution is this partnership brings young people, connects them in real world experiences, and lets them shine. And their hunger and their ambition becomes so captivating to our employers. They get so excited and they want to do more. And we have an opportunity to move students to higher opportunities as a result. Think of the support of Connie and Steve Ballmer. They provided resources when the going gets tough. It's often hard in these times. There's a slowdown of investment. The Bombers have stepped up and continue to drive us forward. And then, of course, there's Sandy and Joan. Wow, I don't even need to say too much for all of you about how remarkable the Wiles have been for 40 years. 40 years ago, they saw this challenge. They stepped in, they leaned in, and they have driven us to a level and an ambition to make this possible and beneficial to more and more young people all over the country. Without them, we would not be here. They are certainly the wind beneath my wings, and they do amazing things as a result of their great vision, passion, and knowledge that this workplace and school place, if working together, can in fact transform lives. And we have said over and over, and my first memo after everything shut down and the horrible events, Black Lives Matter. And we need to lean into the equity conversation with heart, with belief, and with support. And leadership matters. You know, I've said often, when you think of leadership, watch what they say, watch what they do. If they don't match, watch what they do. When I think of Robert Smith and I think of the Bombers and I think of Joan and Sandy, I think of leaders who do what they say. And that is what I believe changes the world for the better. One of those leaders is Lynn Dowdy. Lynn Dowdy with KPMG demonstrates some of the highest quality of leadership that I can imagine. KPMG is an amazing organization, and they have leaned in. They were one of our first ambitious partners in piloting Future Ready Labs. That was 3 years ago. And now they're pivoting to virtual, and they're also pivoting and expanding and are now working with St. Louis, with Dallas, with New York City in terms of using Future Ready Labs as a strategy. So I am so honored and blessed to have Lynn Dowdy as a friend, as a board member, but also so blessed and so honored to be able to recognize KPMG as a company in our Internship Champion Award for this year. They more than deserve it. They demonstrate what is possible, and they never say no. They instead say how. So with that, let me turn this over and thank Lynn Dowdy for her friendship and her leadership.
It is such an honor to accept this award on behalf of KPMG's partners and professionals. During my time leading the firm, one of the things that has made me most proud has been our collective commitment to our communities. Lifelong learning is the heart of our community impact work. Education and opportunity are essential to unlocking human potential. And we believe that for a strong and diverse talent pool, we must be part of creating it. Increasing the number of internships and enhancing the internship experience has been a significant part of how we contribute to creating this pipeline. And that's why we're so proud to collaborate on NAF's innovative, critical work, which I've been fortunate enough to witness through an even wider lens during my time on its board of directors. The NAF interns are dynamic and passionate and have made such an impression on me and on KPMG that each year our volunteer mentor openings fill up in just a matter of hours. This summer, we're excited to host almost 90 interns virtually. Like NAF, KPMG places great value on inclusion and diversity and bringing out the very best in everyone. We look forward to continuing to advocate for and partner with NAF to prepare youth to be future ready. Thank you again so much for this recognition.
She's awesome. There's nothing so easy to see why so many wonderful people work for KPMG. She's a wonderful leader. She's a wonderful human being. She gets it. And, you know, they say that good leadership attracts more good leaders. So I'm pleased to also invite